you look at this page, what I did was, I thought we needed to review our vocabulary, burgeon through imminent, so that whole fourth column, because with watching Shakespeare in Love, we haven't done any vocab for over a week. So I wanted to review it, but then I also thought you needed a review of Act 1 for Romeo and Juliet also. So what I did was I put together a summary of Act 1 with blanks for where the vocabulary can go. So we can kill two birds with one stone. We can review Romeo and Juliet and vocabulary at the same time. So the word bank is at the top, but it's also the same list as over there, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to look through Act 1 if we need to use the text to know what's going on here. And you guys are just going to look through your vocab definitions to see which words fit into these blanks. So you have to have the text open and your vocabulary definitions in order to be able to do this activity. And what I want us to do is to come to a consensus as to what word fits in that blank, because there may be more than one right answer, but there's only one word per blank. So we kind of need to come to a consensus, okay? So one thing I want to tell you too, I don't really understand the language that Shakespeare used and spoken. Trent? So instead of like going through all of this information, when I say I want you to look in the text, I'd rather you look to the notes off to the side, because that's where it tells what's going on in the
I thought that was just like
text
the
anyway.
vocabulary word.
No, it explains the language and it explains what's going on pretty well. So that's what I use to create the summary. We're mostly the notes more than the actual play, okay? So number 1, or the first blank, says, at the beginning of Romeo and Juliet, the chorus, now Trent, I don't want you to say the answers if you know them, because I want these guys to discuss, okay? At the beginning of Romeo and Juliet, the chorus explains that the feud between the Capulets and Montagues has what? From ancient ancestors all the way to Romeo and Juliet.
That's what I heard.
Okay, why? Why do you think that?
Because it's to like grow off of or blend.
Okay, so has it grown? Has the feud grown from ancient ancestors all the way to Romeo and Juliet?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, and you say sort of, why?
Because like they still hate each other, but it hasn't like completely gone out of control.
Okay, so it hasn't gotten smaller, but has it really grown?
Not really, it just kind of stayed the same.
It's kind of stayed the same. So in this case, it hasn't necessarily grown, but I do like how you picked burgeon because it is a verb. We need a verb from that list, and most of the vocabulary words are not verbs. So what other verb could maybe go there besides burgeon? Burgeon does make sense there. What does undulate mean? Okay, undulate means ripple.
Why do we know?
Well, at the beginning of Romeo and Juliet, the chorus explains that the feud between the Capulets and the Montagues has undulated from ancient ancestors all the way to Romeo and Juliet.
I thought ripple was the water rippling.
Well, you know how when you put a pebble in the water and it ripples? It has that ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of the ripple effect? You know? So this feud could maybe ripple down like that, have that ripple effect from the ancestors and still all the way to Romeo and Juliet.
But then that still could be burgeon.
What about
Because
relegate?
technically it's rippling out, and when it ripples out, it gets...
Oh, it gets bigger.
It gets bigger.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I didn't really think of that. So yeah, burgeoning, that ripple effect, those waves get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So that does sound like burgeon. Both of them could be right.
I like burgeon better.
Well, I'm starting to like burgeon better too. But unfortunately, it is undulated. Okay? So go ahead and put, and make sure, I know the word is undulate, but undulate doesn't make sense there, so add add the D for undulated. Hopefully, when I do have the word virgin, it makes better sense than the other one. Okay, who wants to read the second one, starting scene 1?
Scene 1 begins with Samson and Gregory bragging about how blank they are.
Ostentatious.
Well, why do you think ostentatious?
Because it's real showy.
Okay, so it's showy and boastful, and we look at the word bragging and we think of showy and boastful.
Or what about intrepid?
Intrepid, why?
Because they're bragging about how brave they are
Where do you see that?
in my head. It says Gregory. Scene 1 begins with Samson and Gregory bragging about how, and then brave fits, and that's intrepid.
Where do you see that though?
Right, you don't see it, you just
No,
put it in.
intrepid is brave.
But where did you see, oh.
That's what I said in my
But where
brain.
did you see that they're bragging about how brave they are?
'Cause
No, okay, I
Because
added
you-
brave into, they're bragging about how, and it says
Oh,
brave.
because in the text on 993, in the
Coda
notes.
got me.
Yeah.
Well, because you said the exact same thing that was in the notes here on notes on 993 1 through 5. It says here the comic characters of Gregory and Samson are bragging about how brave they are.
Oh.
You like read that
I
exact.
said in my
you
brain.
said that exact sentence. So I just was wondering where you got that, but you just put that in there.
She's a genius.
I guess
Yeah.
so. So you're right. It is intrepid. Try and get off your phone, please.
I'm not even doing anything.
What do you mean?
I'm not doing anything.
Well, obviously,
Participate.
kind of need to participate.
I want you to put it down for now. I don't want you to have it out at all.
So I was right?
Yes, intrepid. Okay, who wants to read the next one?
Not everybody at once.
Wait, is it the green one? Yeah. On this one.
We're making Parker do it.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
This.
This one's easy. You guys could read ahead and already
It's
get
Tybalt.
this one.
Tybalt. From there. Tybalt.
Tybalt is instantly introduced as the
Blank.
blank when he says, "As I hate hell, all Montagues and the prince
No,
promises."
that's it.
Oh wow.
Okay, so Tybalt is instantly introduced as the.
Like-
But not one of our words.
I know. It's good enough.
His character, he is introduced as
Antagonist.
antagonist. Why do you say that?
Because of what he said.
Opponent.
Because
Because
he's,
of what he said.
yeah, and what did you say, Chris? Instigator?
Yeah.
Yeah, the antagonist, the person who's the bad guy, the opponent. Gabby. We have 3 now. The one we just did is antagonist. Okay, Tybalt is instantly introduced as the antagonist. Okay? So Gabby, I want you to read the next sentence that starts the prince.
Okay.
After this.
The prince promises Capulet and Montague that death will be blank if any more fights occur.
Good.
Death will be.
Death will be what if any more fights occur? Nick, look.
Will be
Look for the answer. You're smart. These kids don't have to tell you the answer. You can find it.
Is imminent.
Nullify.
You have to let him say it.
I thought it was nullify.
No, it's imminent.
Well, what does nullify mean?
Cancel out.
Yeah, so death will cancel out.
Oh, never mind.
Or
I was
it's
thinking
literally
it's something
about
else.
to happen.
Yeah,
Requisite or requisite. 'Cause
Wait, so which
that
one
would
is
be
it?
technically a requirement.
it is. Death will be requisite if any more fights occur, so death will be a requirement. That's come up a lot, and I can see how that kind of makes sense. But when we think death will be imminent if the fights occur,
It's about to
it'll
happen.
be about to happen.
That will be
So,
about.
yeah, imminent is the word that I had in mind there. But I totally understand requisite. Okay, Coda, can you read right after that one?
Montague is concerned that Romeo appears so blank and in tears.
Alright, so Nick, this one's yours. Montague is concerned that Romeo appears so what? And in tears.
I got it.
If you have it, write it down.
So what
If you think you know what it is, write it down. But this, don't tell Nick, he has to tell us.
You got it.
This one's interested. Do you know? Yeah.
Requiesce.
Requisite,
Requisite.
he appears so requirement. And, well, don't laugh, but yeah, that requisite would be requirement. But he's in tears. Which one's the one, like if you're in tears?
Oh.
Or
Morose, yeah, that's right, write that down. He appears so morose and in tears.
Here's the requirement.
He's so sad.
his words. Can I read?
That's why we're doing this, Nick, so you can learn the words. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Wait, I lost it. Romeo explains to Benvolio how blank it is when someone you love doesn't love you back.
Okay, so what could it be? Romeo explains to Benvolio how what
So
Hard.
it is when someone you love doesn't love you back. Why would you say
Love
arduous?
Because it's difficult or strange.
Or
You are
strenuous. Okay. So Romeo explains to Benvolio how arduous it is when someone you love doesn't love you back. Could it be any others?
Nope, too long.
Zealot.
So
That's what I said.
Romeo explains to Benvolio how.
you'd have to have passion.
There's a lot
They
of
don't have
passion.
passion for you.
Well, but a zealot is a noun, it's a person.
Where's the word you
Like
said?
it's a
Coda?
zealot.
It's the third word in the whole entire
Oh,
word.
okay.
Romeo explains to Benvolio. Alright, I want you to cut.
Cut.